Jeff and Lonnie Jenkins.
Glad to be back with you. Jeff on this end.
Hi, Lonnie on this end. Thank you very much for joining in with us again. I hope you were with us last time. We're talking about end time, and not in the usual prophetic way that most of the programs are. We're trying to show you an end time sign that has extremely significant,
Yes.
that just as the Sadducees and Pharisees and Herodians missed the sign of their day, I'm afraid the church world is missing the sign to this day. The simplicity is this, friends, that God works on a system of seed. His word is a seed, his program is a seed. And now stay with us, because this is very important to get this thought process. In the book of Revelation, Jesus declares over and over, I am Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. I am the first and the last. And that very principle is the principle of seed. And so seed is, Jesus said, except a seed go into the ground and die, it abides alone. But if it go into the ground and die, it'll bring forth much fruit. So a single seed put into the ground, Jesus Christ. Then it goes through a process, and then finally the seed is reproduced in the head again, and that's harvest time. So we saw the life of Jesus Christ. He went into the ground, died. His resurrected life came back on the book of Acts church. We saw his life in a many-membered body in the book of Acts. And then that was the church that was buried during the Dark Ages under the pressures of the religious system of the day. 68 million Protestants put to death, standing against the hierarchy of Rome. And then out of that came the little sprig of the seed finally coming back again, which was the Lutheran movement, just the beginning of the things of God. And that's that process now that the seed is going through. It was dead, buried, and then comes up through a little leaf and a tassel and a shuck, and finally back to grain time again. So grain in wheat, when we get ready to harvest the wheat, the final grain is the same as the original grain. And so therefore we should have some manifestation on earth. If we are at harvest time, there should be a manifestation on earth that the very resurrected life of Jesus Christ is being displayed on earth again.
So Brother Lonnie, are you saying that the very same life that Jesus Christ exhibited, that very same life will be exhibited in flesh in another man? And in other words, if Jesus discerned, if Jesus had visions, if Jesus knew Nathanael's name, knew his nature, if he knew the woman at the well, then there'll be a man in this last day that'll have that very same messianic sign.
Correct, that's exactly.
Seed to seed.
And you use the proper term there, messianic sign. We know the woman at the well in Luke 4, she said, we know when Messiah comes, he'll do these things after Jesus had discerned her life.
Yes.
And we know that Nathanael said, thou art the Son of God, the King of Israel, when Jesus spoke and knew all about him. So consequently, that's exactly it. And so that this ministry, to be a compound of the life of Jesus Christ, Moses had said, the Lord your God will raise up a prophet likened unto me. And that was Jesus.
Right.
And so he was the prophet Messiah. And so at the end time then, we don't need another Messiah for a Savior.
Right.
But the very life of Christ, remember, Jesus was the Word made flesh. And we find in Hebrews 12 that when the Word is made flesh,